Hey, so I get the question all the time, what's one thing I could do to make myself a better guitar player? One thing. What's the one thing? The shortcut. Well, there is no shortcut, but one thing every guitar player could do to make themselves a better guitar player is to know what note you're playing at any given time. So for example, let's say we're going to play this 7th fret of the 2nd string. All right, maybe you know what that note is already. If you do, that's fantastic. But if you don't, how would you figure it out? Well, you could start with the open string, and that's a B. 1st fret would be a C. 3rd fret would be a D. 5th fret would be an E. 6th fret would be an F, natural, and so the 7th fret is an F sharp. Right? All right, so that's the one thing. If you can't do that, if you could work towards doing that, that's going to be huge for your playing. Some of you are going to ask the question, isn't it also a G flat? Yeah, it is. It is also a G flat. So there's a G on the 8th fret. And then if we went down 1 fret, which is what it means to flat, you would get a G flat. And here's an F on the 6th fret. And then 1 fret higher is a F sharp, because that's what sharps do. They move towards the pick. Yeah. In music theory, the F sharp is a very, very common note. It's in a lot of different keys. In the key of G, key of D, key of E, key of A. Tons of keys. Key of G, note G flat, not in a lot of keys. Not very common. Got to be pretty far around the circle of fifths to get to a G flat note. So in that respect, I would say the F sharp is much more common note, and it's much more likely that's what note this is. What would determine if it's an F sharp or a G flat is what key you're in, and that's another video. But if you're in the key of D, then that note is an F sharp. D, E, F sharp. Okay, let's do a different one. Let's say we're going to play the 6th fret on the 3rd string. All right, so how would we figure out what that note is? If you already know, good for you. But how would we figure it out? Open string is a G. 2nd fret is an A. 4th fret is a B. 5th fret is a C natural. And then 6th fret would be a C sharp. So 6th fret of the 3rd string, C sharp. Could it be a D flat? Yes. Is it probably a C sharp? Also yes, for the same reasons as that other note was an F sharp. C sharp's just a more common note. It doesn't mean it's not a D flat, depends on what key you're in. But you could call it either one if you're just going to talk about that one note itself. All right, so that's a quick answer. I'm going to post a number of videos about learning the notes on the individual strings and then making it a more progressive study that you could do on a daily basis to get you learning the notes on the neck so you can communicate them. All right, so get to work on that. If you do that a little bit every day, you'll find yourself, before you know it, you'll know the notes on the neck. And you'll be able to talk to other musicians who are not guitar players or bass players, where you can just tell them the fret. Who knows, you might even learn how to read music or something. All right, so let me know if you have any questions, and watch those other videos, and we'll go from there.